if you thought the Mortis arc was batcrap crazy, you have not seen anything yet. Hey everyone, welcome back to another book review-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Grace.
And we are back with the final book of the High Republic book series, Trials of the Jedi.
Whoa.
So this is the 6th book of the story, but if you include the 2 prequel books, it's like an 8-book series. Super exciting.
And all the comics.
So many comics.
Well, of the ones that we've read, this would be the 8th High Republic book.
Got it.
Super exciting. It's been multiple years in the process, and it's been almost a year since we did Temptations of the Force. So that was like last August is when we did that thing. So that's...
It did not feel like that.
I feel like that was yesterday, like literally.
And so it's been a while, and now it's finally over. And so we have to figure out some other books to do in the future, which we got a couple slated. But yeah, so if you have not read any of those books and you don't want to read them, go listen to all of our book reviews first and then come back to this to get the kind of conclusion of the story. Or you can just get spoiled because
by everything.
It's kind of almost kind of standalone, almost kind of maybe a little bit.
It kind of felt like it.
It kind of just changed directions that no one expected was going to happen. So
I agree.
You could probably figure it out once we get going. But before we get started, I have a special voicemail that we have to play off right from the start. And so it is from our good friend Yaretsi, who has a voicemail for us. So let's take a listen.
Hey Empire Radio, this is Yaretsi. And this song I'm about to play is for Grace. And Drew and Jeremiah, we would love to hear your angelic voices sing along with it. I know Grace would be amazed by your just amazing voices.
Oh, I'm really blushing. Please don't.
I'm going to go ahead and start.
Oh, it's your birthday. Yeah, I'm not going to do that though.
It's okay. Oh, wow, this is so pretty.
Happy birthday, Grace. We love you here at Empire Radio.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Grace. It was yesterday, but happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. Oh my gosh, Yaretsi, that was so sweet. What instrument was that? I'm sorry, I'm not cultured enough to know.
That was flute.
Flute? Okay. Wow. Yeah. I'm impressed. Thank you. Thank you for remembering. I feel like I'm now getting to the age where maybe I have to start forgetting about my birthday because I'm getting too old. So thanks for celebrating it with me.
Awesome. Well, I told her it was your birthday coming up. I was like, hey, you should play the birthday song. She's like, okay.
I was going to say, how the heck did she know this? But I had no idea.
I told her.
Oh.
But, well, like she said, we love you here at Empire Radio, Grace. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
But you're not here for birthday party celebrations. We're here for a book review. So
yes,
Aretsi, we just played your voicemail. So
oh my gosh. Oh, is she in the chat? Thank you so much again, Yaretsi. That was so sweet. Oh, you're the best.
All right, cool. So this is a long book.
Yes.
Tons of stuff happened. We're going to kind of skip over some of the smaller things and try and focus on the main stuff, but it's still a lot. So
yeah,
buckle up and get ready.
Get out your notebooks. It's hard to keep it all straight.
I got it all here for everybody. So book 5 ended, or what happened in book 5 is this thing called the Blight started happening. It's basically places around the galaxy are just turning to ash, and people are dying and getting sick and turning to ash, and the ground and rocks are turning to ash. And at the end of the book, Mark Monroe has his little purple glow rod. He's like, hey, I can stop the Blight. I have the power to fix the problems. And he says this to the Republic, and it ends on that cliffhanger. And so we pick up, like, I think it was approximately 3 weeks later.
That's pretty quick.
Pretty quick. And so Blight is showing up all around the galaxy. And one of the places that it has showed up in is the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, all the way down in the depths. And at the end of the book, we actually find out that a Sith shrine was underneath the temple, and that's where the Blight was coming out of. Which I always knew that there was something about the Jedi Temple being on top of a Sith temple or something, but I didn't know how like established that was. But now it's clearly established that there's a Sith shrine underneath the temple on Coruscant. So,
yeah. Which is interesting. I agree with you, Jeremiah. I feel like I knew that, so for some reason it wasn't surprising to me, but also like it's a good piece of lore.
Yeah. And so, if you remember from last book, Buryaga was able to like somehow figure out how to like hold the Blight back from expanding. Like he could barely do it, but he was able to communicate with the Jedi his techniques or whatever. And so the best Jedi in the temple are down there exhausting themselves, pushing the Blight back and keeping it from expanding. And so Yoda's down there, a bunch of people are down there. It keeps sending these little Padawan kids down to relay messages. I'm like,
Yeah.
Can we keep the kids safe? The Jedi just have a very bad track record when it comes to children. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure there has to be at least one child labor law that would prevent something like this from happening. But
Dude, there's so many laws that they break, though, so it doesn't matter. Like, one, all those kids are kidnapped anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Like, if you want to start there, they're all trafficked illegally.
Okay.
The concept of those kids is
questionable.
But it was really interesting in the beginning of the book, though, to like hear like think through a youngling's mind as they're talking to Yoda and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool.
I feel like this book had
like
a lot
nervous, kind of like I don't know. It was really interesting to like hear it through a kid.
I really think that this book showcased like people's thought processes during different scenes. Like we even get an Ember chapter where it says Ember, the dog.
Yeah.
And the writing is like faking, like broken English, basically.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of weird, but like we get that a lot in this book, which was kind of interesting. But so we kind of just jump into it right at the beginning of like what the plan is, what the mission is, what's going on is the Jedi have come up with this theory that the reason the Blight is showing up around the galaxy is because the nameless creatures have been taken from their home planet, and somehow this is causing the Blight. And so they're like, we need to get the nameless back to this planet, and then that will hopefully stop the Blight. They don't know if it's going to happen, but that's their best option. And somehow, we don't really get an explanation, but they discover the Rod of Ages with the Echo Stone. And they're like, well, we think this is something like the Rod of Power that Mark Yanro has, but we don't know. I'm like,
did that bother anyone, or was it just me?
I assume that happened in another book that we just hadn't read, right? Because it was kind of weird.
Maybe, probably. And there's some other things that popped up. I'm like, it just kind of happened.
So, just behind the paywall kind of situation. So, I read the book, and then I feel like I still needed like a refresh, even though I read it like 2 days ago. I finished it.
Yeah.
So, I listened to someone break it down, and they were saying the same thing, where how they're like, I've read every single High Republic thing, and it kind of just came out of nowhere. So that was like, they said that was kind of weird.
Unless they still have more stuff coming out for Phase 3. I don't know.
There was like a young adult novel though that I feel like I didn't read that came out right before this. So I just assumed anything I didn't understand was from that or like a comic. But if that person had read everything, I don't even know. Yeah, it's confusing.
Interesting.
I don't know.
So
but they also said that if you've only read the books, you've only got like a 25% of actually what this story is.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's depressing.
There was a lot with like the Aslan stuff that like
there's like a couple
missing.
characters that we find out, like we get introduced in this book that has a whole story arc that people are fangirling of. So it's like, oh, interesting.
Or fanboying of, okay.
What? This is a saying.
But yeah, so that's their kind of plan. And they also discovered that there's some special metal ore from the planet Talos that repels the blight. And they're like, well, okay, if it repels the blight, then maybe it will repel the nameless, assuming that the nameless and the blight are connected. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make some armor out of this, put it on the Jedi that we send, and hopefully that will negate the effects of the nameless.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, cool. And so they come up with 2 teams of 9. And for the purposes of this book, they only needed 1 team of 9 because the second team of 9 did not get utilized at all, except for one guy that got hurt and then got replaced before the mission even started. But like,
he lost his leg.
That was one of the biggest things that annoyed me was that I was waiting for crap to hit the fan, and then
for the other
second team to come in.
Yeah,
like one of the persons on the second team was Vernestra Rowe. I was like, oh, like I'm super excited for Vernestra, and nope. We just got her complaining that she didn't get selected for the original 9 at the beginning of the book, and that was all we got from her. Really.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That guy did lose his leg, and it was pretty intense, though.
Yeah, the Wookiee. Poor guy. But so the team that we are with for most of the book that gets sent, Elzar, Avar, Bel, Buryaga, Aslan, who technically never left the Jedi Order, but he turned to the dark side and he was kind of imprisoned by the Jedi for being dark side, whatever. We get a little bit of him in book 4, but he has a lot of stuff in like phase 2, like the prequel stories. He has a bunch of stuff.
Great, yes.
We got Ty, who we got in like the second book, Ty Yorick, and she's like the monster hunter, like former Padawan that like left the order. Reef Silas, which I think we heard him like on and off throughout all the books. I feel like, and then Tarek, and then Torben was the person that replaced the Wookiee that got hurt just before the mission. So that is our team that we have. So that's the mission. And so while all this is happening, we have like a chapter like taking place in the Senate chamber, and the whole Senate's there, and Senate seats that are from planets that are in the occlusion zone, those are marked off. But then there's also Senate seats that are covered that are like planets that are being affected by the blight, and so they can visually see the effects that are happening by either the Nihil or the blight, and they think that the blight is connected to Nihil, but they don't know exactly. And they're all waiting for Markion Rowe to do a Google call in and address the Senate and give his proposal. And he's like, "Hey guys, you guys are the worst, but I can save the galaxy." And Chancellor Lena So is like, "Nope," click, and that was the end of that. So, did you guys expect her to give a no immediately like that?
Yeah.
Or do you think it was be more of a conversation or a maybe with terms and conditions, or was it just that's what probably was going to happen?
I feel like that was going to happen. Like it didn't. She's so mad right now in this point in the story that she doesn't even want. Like she's so mad about the whole thing about how the Jedi didn't even inform her about the blight. So it's like she's just angry.
because Elzar shows up just before Markion gets on, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's blight in the Jedi Temple."
And she's like, "Whoa, bestie! I thought you were my inside scoop. What are you doing?"
Yeah, because then she was like, "So should we evacuate Coruscant?" And then he was like, "So like billions of people die escaping?" No.
He's like, "We got it under control." And so he was about to tell her the plan to go to the Nameless Planet, and then that's when Markian calls in. So he never gets to tell her what happens.
Yeah.
So,
which is good,
right? And then we get a little bit with Gira, the kind of like politician that defected to the Nihil and is trying to like campaign on the Nihil's behalf. She's a contact in the Senate, and she meets up with Markion after he had this video call with the Senate, and he's basically sad that and confused that the Senate rejected his offer. Like he didn't expect that to happen. And he kind of goes on this like little rant about I want people to be devoted to me and I want to be a legend. And he's like, I want more and all this stuff. And he's like, well, I'm just going to take care of the blight in the OZ zone because that's all I can do right now. And like, I don't know. He was kind of like, we see a different side of him, I feel like, where he's like backed up in a corner. He doesn't really have a plan in a sense. Like we've seen him before where like he accomplished plans.
Yes.
And then he had to like, now I got to come up with new plans. Now he's kind of like, now what do I do type of thing. And
what did you guys think of that? Like, what do you guys think of Markion generally in this book?
I think that this whole blight thing should have been all of phase 3. Like we'll get.
You think it was like a little underwhelming?
I don't know. It felt rushed to me because like it's 3 weeks from the last book, and that last book was only like, I don't know, a couple weeks long. So it's like this whole blight thing and his main goal that we'll find out later just came out like in a couple days in a sense. And so it would have been nicer if this was like a more stretched out story that the Jedi and the Republic had to deal with rather than just kind of like a month-long dilemma.
Do you feel like they kind of, as like the writers, like, because they've been working on this, it's not like, I don't know, they said that they like went in a room and they like planned the whole story out. But I feel like there's parts of this that like we're still working on.
Well, I don't know.
I agree. I feel like it. Yeah, go ahead, Jeremy.
No, Grace, you go ahead. I've been talking already a lot.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Please.
Okay. Well, I think that they did have this plan because, like, of all the stuff with the Nameless goes back to phase 2 and phase 1, and like the Aslan stuff is like a continuation story from phase 2, and so I think they've been working towards this as the end goal. I think they had it in mind, but
how they're gonna execute it.
Yeah.
But like, but it's also like it played out the way it would in real life, where Markion discovers this blight stuff and figures it out and decides to like do his thing where he wants to destroy the galaxy. Like it's like if that just came about in real life, like he would react the same way. But like
I mean, I don't know like if this is the time to get into it or not, but I didn't like that he didn't really have motivations. Like my takeaway from this book and from like his character generally across the many books is that he's just kind of a psychopath.
He's a joker.
Yeah.
Like straight up. Like he's just causing issues because he wants to.
Yeah.
Like, there's not like a big
like he didn't even want power. He just kind of wanted to like sow destruction. And like I
don't know if that's real though, because I feel like in the Eye of Darkness,
like
he wanted that power and he got it, and then he didn't know what to do with it once he got it. And so then now I feel like he was just like, all right, I guess my end goal now is to destroy the world, like the galaxy. Like I feel like the beginning of the High Republic, those books, like, and like leading up to him and the Eye of Darkness, like, I don't know why, but like I felt like that was like a really good story.
I agree.
And then it seems like they're like, okay, so how do we do 4 more books or whatever it is? So like it felt like it just, if they would have just focused on the Nameless a little bit more and not even added the Blight thing, I feel like the story would have felt more, because the whole point, like we knew about like the Nameless like kind of instantly too, so we were developing and like getting scared of these people or whatever, and then like then they're like, let's add one more thing in there to make it even more strong, but then it didn't feel like it just felt like it was there.
I agree. And then also, like, I thought that they were going to connect it to phase 2, where we realize, we find out that, like, Markion's family, like, has this, like, difficult history with the Jedi and, like, doesn't believe in, like, using the Force for certain things. And I was like, oh, maybe that's his motivation in this book. But, like, it really wasn't in the end. It was just, like, crazy. He was crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I think what happened was, like, he wanted that power. He wanted to have supreme power over everyone in the galaxy. That's what he wanted. Yeah. But the moment Lena So said, "No, we don't want your help," like, we find out when he talks to his like head security guy, like, he's like, "I have everything planned out, and this is the first time where I'm failing to predict what's going to happen." Mm-hmm. And now he's not able to achieve those goals of having power, and so he shifts to, like, the only way I can have power over everyone is if I kill everyone and everything. Then I'm the one that made the final decision that affected everything and everyone everywhere. Therefore, I am the most in power. So I think the whole power thing was always there, because, like he said, he wanted to be a legend, even though legends are remembered. But so killing everyone, he won't be remembered. But it's still, the reality of history is he had the final say, and it was his decision, meaning that he had the power over everyone.
That's a good read.
I think that is his motivation. I felt like he got it at the Eye of Darkness. He had it for a little bit. And honestly, like, if that is his thing and he wants to be remembered as a legend, that alone, he would have been remembered as a legend, you know? Like, I feel like he just took it too far. His character, like, he just went too far in, and he was kind of stuck when he's like, you know, I'm just going to destroy everything. But I just feel like the writers, like, felt like maybe, like, the Nameless and him wasn't enough, and so they had to add the Blight into it.
But the Blight is still a part of it, though. Like, with the story,
but I feel like it would have affected me more if we would have heard about it earlier in the story.
Right. Which way I said a little bit ago, all of phase 3 should have been the Blight stuff.
Because I feel like they would have added it right away. It would have affected you more.
Right. Because like, something that we're skipping in this story is it follows a family on a planet that's affected by the Blight, and it's them trying to escape while everything is turning to dust and falling apart and collapsing. Like, if that was something that was constantly for 3 books, like, introduced to this, like, in the book 4, and then it's constantly getting worse and worse from planet to planet, and we see the effects of the Blight more, it would have been a bigger payoff of, like, how they solve the problem at the end of the book, like, because we can see what's being stopped. You just get a little glimpse of it in this book.
It was just, like, too short. It almost felt rushed.
Right.
Also, is it just me, or when I think of the Blight, I just think of, like, Thanos?
Yeah.
100%. That's how I'm imagining it. I didn't even, like, you're not even a question.
Everything is turned to dust like
just
that.
Just, like, slowly, like a
literally
dust storm of things is dying out. Okay, cool. I thought I was the only one that was thinking.
No.
Are you guys seeing Fantastic Four this weekend?
I won't see it this week. I might see it on Wednesday next week on my day off. But
weird flex. I won't go with. Can I go with you?
Sure. Miles want to come, or is he going to be annoying?
Well, he'll probably want to. Well, actually, stuff's in Korea, so if I go, he would have to go with.
Oh.
But that depends if you're willing to risk it.
Well, I can stay and you can walk out with him. I don't care.
Oh, he won't walk out. He just might be jumping around.
I'm saying if he's being annoying You two can leave. I'll stay. I don't mind staying. Anyway.
Anyways, whatever.
But I'm excited. I think Fantastic Four will be
It looked good.
It looks really good. I'm going tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to opening night, huh? Wow, you stay up that late?
I know.
She's like, yeah, I don't want to.
Do they have like a special? They get the special.
It's 9:15, which is already late. But like, whatever.
Man.
9:15.
And you can go to work the next day? Oh.
I know, it's crazy. But that's okay. I'm brave and strong now that I'm a working woman. I just don't sleep.
Yeah, sleep is for the weak.
Yep.
Exactly. Lots of caffeine. Red Bull.
Are you going to get the Galactus
wings.
popcorn container?
Oh.
Did you see how much it fits?
How much?
2 full large size buckets in the one head.
Holy moly.
Like I saw someone did, they put 1 bucket and 2 buckets that was like I can barely even eat half of one of those things.
I think I have to limit myself to Star Wars purchases. Like I think if I start buying Marvel popcorn buckets as well, like I will have to live on the streets.
Well, you're in San Francisco, so you got some encampments you can hang out in. Anyway, moving on.
Wait, look at speaking of Star Wars, my friend just gave this to me today for my birthday, so I've got a little project for tonight.
So
that's why you wanted to cut it short tonight, because you want to get home and play Legos. I see how it is.
No, I'm just tired.
All right,
it's late.
We're already 26 minutes in. We're only like in the first like 2 chapters of the book.
So speed it up.
Speed it up. So then he, is confused on why, because he figured out that the Jedi are capturing Nameless or RDC or whatever, because the Jedi can't do it themselves. So he's like, why are they like this? I did not anticipate this. Why are they doing this? So he's super confused. And he later on, he expresses this to his like head security guy, Fast Gear. And he's just kind of like talking with him like over some an adult beverage. And he's like basically saying, Markion is basically saying, I'm like a chess player. I see every move that's going to happen. Like I can plan 100 moves ahead. I can see it all how it's going to play out. But now I'm running into issues. I did not expect the Senate to decline my offer to help. I did not expect this Nameless thing to come up. And we'll get into the next thing we'll talk about is the stuff on Iriadu. But there's a rebellion on Iriadu against the Nihil. He's like, I did not expect this to happen this early. I expected it to eventually happen, but this early, no. And so he's super confused, and he's talking with Fast Gear about it. And he's, how do I say that? He's a few French fries short of a Happy Meal. Let's just say that. And he's just not the smart guy. And he's just, he's just like muscle there to like protect. Like he's very childlike in his thought processes. And he's like talking, and he's like, Fast Gear's trying to give him advice. Oh, my mom said to focus on what you do know how to do. And the thing I knew how to do when I was a kid is turn the water faucet on and off. And that made me happy. And, Markion was like, yeah, I get it. I've heard that a million times, blah, blah, blah. Well, Markion poisoned Fast Gear, so he got killed. We don't know really why, but maybe it's just because he was confiding in him and he didn't want to like have that news get leaked or whatever, but he kills Fast Gear, and he's super angry. Like, why did the Jedi steal the Nameless? Why are they getting him? I don't get it. And he comes to the conclusion that they're going to try and bring them back to their home planet. He just like figures it out. He's like, all right, I'm headed there. I'm going to gather all my Nameless, and I'm going to go there. Okay, cool. So there's going to be a confrontation on this planet. Cool. So there's a whole thing on Iriadu. So Iriadu is the Grand Moff Tarkin's home planet. We see that in Bad Batch Season 2. That's where Tech dies on Iriadu. And these people are known to be like strong, like fighters, and like they don't take crap from anyone. I'm like, this kind of makes sense about Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah,
like
that was interesting.
It was a cool little backstory about like the culture of the planet. So they've been stuck behind the OZ line, and they're just kind of like living. But we find out that everyone's been talking under the radar and planning, and they got like military and forces up in the mountains and caves and bunkers and stuff. And there's also some Jedi that have been stuck on the planet too. They're in hiding, and so all this stuff is happening, and they're waiting for the signal. They don't know what that is. No one knows who's going to be. Well, Joss, RDC pilot, is there with his wife, pregnant wife. They're stuck behind enemy lines. They're stuck on this planet. And he's talking to the bartender, Slendo, and he's like, just poking the bear a little bit. They have some alcoholic beverages going around. And so now he'll walk into the bar, and Slendo's the owner, and he's like, I've had enough. And he just shoots him or whatever, kills him, like 4 guys at a table. And that's just started the rioting, and that's all. Everything just went out. All the forces came out, and the rebellion, rioting happened against the Nihil. And so, not a lot happens on this story that I think really mattered. Like, honestly, the only thing that really happened was like Porter Engle shows up randomly.
Yeah.
And that's how he goes to General Weiss, who's because earlier Mark Yan sends the Nihil fleet, or most of it, to Iriadu, and General Weiss is there overseeing the operations. And so that's how he gets, because he's hunting down General Weiss. And so we can just jump into the Porter Engle stuff quick, because that's just one little quick story. So Porter, he's fighting the Nihil in his thing, and he's like,
he's cool.
Yeah, he's like jumping out of his starship and like cutting ships in half and then jumping back in and flying away, and he's laughing, having a good time. And Porter Engle is so cool.
He's very cool. At like age 200, he's cool, right?
I think he's even more than that. He's probably like, I think he mentioned like over 300.
Oh, okay.
But like even then, he's still super old, and so like, and it's funny because he retired from being a Jedi because he was too old, but now he's like the best Jedi out there. And so he makes his way up to General Weiss's ship, and like he has to like force jump out of it and like go through space and then through like the barrier of like the hangar bay, like barrier wall, and going 100 miles an hour. And he just like uses a saber to, like into the ground and slow him down. And he's fighting some Nihil, and then he like cuts like a fuel line and like sprays them with oil. So like if they shoot, they spark the fuel. And he's like, I'm not here to kill you guys, but if you shoot me, you're gonna catch yourself on fire type of thing. And so he's just like, I'm just here for General Weiss. He gets on the intercom and like, I'm coming for you. And he says, I am the destroyer. Like, oh, that was such a cool line, especially with the audiobook, because he has a cool voice in the audiobook. So it was just like super menacing. He's like, General Weiss, I'm coming for you. Anyone else on the ship, I don't care about you. Just let me go face off against General Weiss. I'm only here for her. And General Weiss goes to like her, and she's like, all right, get my armor. Let's do this. And so keep in mind, this ship was like a stolen like luxury yacht ship type thing that was converted into a warship. So when he gets to General Weiss, where they fight is like a big party room with like a dance floor. And I don't know if I remember if I remember this correctly, but I feel like last book when they fought on Naboo, either General Weiss or Porter Engle said before their fight, let's dance.
Oh yeah.
And then here it's a dance floor. And so they had a conversation, which was very interesting. It's a back and forth, and they both agreed, this is our final battle. We've done this, like, this is our third time. Either we're both going to die or one's going to die or something, but we're not splitting up again.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is Porter Engle's like, I realize why I haven't beaten you yet. And the thing is, like, there's no reason I shouldn't have. I'm better than you.
I'm a Jedi. Like,
I'm a Jedi. I'm not just a Jedi, but I am the blade.
Jedi.
He is like known for his ability to fight with the blade. And he's like, the reason why I haven't killed you is because you're the only one left in the galaxy that's old enough to had any contact with my sister Barash. And it's like, I kind of want to preserve her memory in someone else, and that's why I've always held back. And then he released a second lightsaber that he's always had too. He's like, I've never even used 2 sabers against you when I could have, and I would have been able to beat you easily.
It's all because of her sister.
There is a passage out of here, or a section out here I want to read from Porter Engle when he has his conversation with General Weiss. And I thought it was just a very, very intense thing that he said. So he's talking and he's like, There are only about 10,000 Jedi, he said. Even a single planet can have up to 1 trillion people. Relative to the galactic population, the Order is a whisper of a whisper. Our resources are best used to battle the dark in precise, targeted ways. If you need a field, an army, or a blockade criminals across an entire sector, mostly we let the Republic handle it. But if the job is about stopping a bad individual, we're incredible. You know what I'm talking about. I know you do. Even though we Jedi are very few in number, we can still be very effective at bringing light. Because when people consider being really bad, getting truly dark, there's always a little voice in the back of their head. What if they send a Jedi after me? It's such a good line section, and he's like, I've been playing around, and I'm done with this. I'm going to take you out right now. And what he does is he just force pushes her against the glass of like the head of the ship or whatever, takes his saber, uses the force to move the saber to her, and just clicks it on and off right into her skull and kills her that way.
Yeah. Ugh.
I'm like, oh, dang. That was such a cool scene. And Mark Thompson did a wonderful job of like narrating that scene. So immersive. And like, he's basically like, because before that, he's like, just talking about how, you know, you are evil. You've hurt people. Like, we only kill if we have to like stop people from being harmed. And even though right now you're not harming anyone, you will harm people in the future. If I don't kill you right now, I'm taking you out. And so that's that.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing with Porter Engle. Like in last book and in this book, like he just shows up and disappears. Like we didn't know how he got to Naboo or how did he know that General Veese was on Naboo? He just showed up, the fighter. Here he just shows up to Iriadu somehow, the fighter, and then he disappears.
No one's complaining about it.
No one's, but that's why I like him so much.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And he's also very like he's exhibiting very un-Jedi like behavior, right? Like he is a Jedi, but he's also like out for revenge.
But he's not a Jedi anymore.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He's a retired Jedi.
Oh, he's just like, yeah.
But
meh.
Can you really retire from the Jedi? I don't really know how that works. Like,
it means you can hunt down people you want to kill.
Oh, yeah. That's, right.
That's what that means, Jeremiah.
But so that happens, and then we get a little like at the end when it's kind of like a montage of like person to person of like what we'll get to that at the end. But now we're gonna get into the kind of like the main story that happens on the nameless homeworld.
And what is it called?
Well, they call it Planet. They call it Planet X.
Yes,
that was like the surveyors called it. And he's like, "Oh, this planet is nameless. Get it, Avar? Nameless." He's like trying to like. She's like,
"Yeah,"
and she's like, "You idiot."
She's like, "Oh yeah, huh? Funny, huh?"
Yeah, they call it Planet X. I feel like that's.
Then we did get. They did name the planet, like what the nameless actually call it. It's like Soronos or something. I forgot to write it down.
Oh, did they? I didn't even...
No. They had a name for the nameless. Did they have a name for the planet too?
Yeah, they read it. He said it in that chapter at the end when Elzar is hanging out with his best bud, the nameless guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I think he said the name there, and then it's like, okay, but whatever. But
I don't think we're at that point yet, so I'm not going to say it.
We're not at that point yet. But they get to this planet. Now, it's kind of confusing on how they knew where to go, because Vernestra had the coordinates in her mind.
Yes.
But they didn't explain how she conveyed it. She's like, you can't get there without me. Well, they did. But also, there was like the video of him pushing back the blight with the rod of power. And like those coordinates are like tattooed on his chest.
Oh.
Like they said that. Like we learned that last book. And then they mentioned it here, but they didn't make that connection of like, oh, we just used AI to like flatten out his chest, and then like we like
screenshotted
his chest, and then like
chest hair.
I thought it was that she couldn't like say them, but she could write them down. Like there was something like she was
weird.
able to share them. It was kind of stupid, whatever it was. It doesn't.
Yeah, whatever. They get there. The planet is like surrounded by this thing called the Veil, which is just like this chaotic debris field and storm system and whatever. It kind of reminded me of Atten from
like Skeleton Crew. I totally agree.
Yeah. Skeleton Crew was just kind of like clouds and like projected images, but like this was like an actual like natural shield around the planet. So there's only one way in. It's kind of like a rotating like entrance point, and they have to like time it right to get in there. And they're going through. Avar's flying, and something hits the thing, and lightning hits them or whatever. And they start free falling. They're gonna die. The ship's not working. They can't turn it back on. So then it's kind of like, all right, guys, we're Jedi. We can do this. And they just use the Force to like steer and use the Force to slow us down. And while this is happening, Ember was a stowaway and got on the ship on her own, and no one knew she was there.
Yeah,
and
what's her name is like the worst dog sitter of all time. Let's be real.
Indira?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because, yeah.
Indira was supposed to watch Ember. And
Indira
so
had
that
literally
Ember
one
wasn't
job.
hurt. And then she had one job, and the dog gets away and like hides. It's like, girl, you're fired.
Yeah. Also, like, how does the dog get away and like get onto the ship? I'm sorry, like,
and then hide on the ship too. I mean, that dog is pretty smart.
Ember is big smart. Yeah.
Big brain.
But so then Ember is about to get sucked out of the ship. So then they gotta like move like Jedi to like, it was a Ty Yorick and Wreath or something were trying to like rescue the dog while everyone was falling. Yeah. And so then like Avar is doing her like special ability where she can connect people's minds in the Force and to like connect everyone to control everyone so they can think together at one time. And Torben was connected and like it's like, yeah, I could sense her like get connected to me. It was really hard, but when Elzar got joined in, she connected with him real easy. They must have done this before. I was like, I did like the meme where like the monkey's like looking forward and looks over and looks away. Like that was me. Like, yep.
that dog. That's like,
yeah. And so, whatever, they crash land, but they're okay. The ship's destroyed. They can't get off the planet now. And they're like, oh, they're transporting a Nameless also at this point.
Oh yeah.
And they check the systems and like, oh, the whatever they're using to like power the shields to like contain them, it's about to fizzle out pretty quick. So we gotta figure out what we're gonna do. So we gotta kind of get.
Also,
out of
they
here.
lost the rod in the crash.
Again, they had like two jobs.
Yeah,
hold on to the rod and hold on to the Nameless, and they failed at both. But that's okay.
But they found the rod pretty quickly, and
that's
then
true.
But they could have found it, or like it's just like what are we doing?
But they should have had it on them the whole time.
Yeah. Strap the rod.
If you have Gandalf's rod, you're not gonna lose that thing in a crash. Like you're gonna have that thing on your hip.
Or also, like, I'm sorry, when they actually like go and get the rod, they're like, okay, like you run in and get it. And I'm like, hello, can we just call it to us with the Force instead of like going into the line of fire?
But this planet that they're on. Can you say something, Drew?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it's really funny too that it's like 9. It's like the very felt like Lord of the Rings when they're describing it too.
Oh
yeah. It's like the chosen 9 can go. It's like literally like a Lord of the Rings scenario, but whatever.
And they're kind of like it's like a weird mixture of people.
Yeah, it's not all the same kind of people too. So it kind of is like. I wonder where you thought about this concept, but whatever.
What was I gonna go? Oh, so this planet is pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. It's like I kind of picture it like Felucia, where it's like all these crazy like plants and random colors, super colorful, blah blah blah. But then it's like tons of like creatures and animals and monsters and. They're just like killing each other or like stuff. It's just like nonstop chaos. And at one point, Elzar takes his helmet off, which has that special armor on it. And like he's overwhelmed, like his senses are just overwhelmed, like he can't do anything. It kind of reminded me of, have you guys seen The Man of Steel with Henry Cavill?
No, but I have seen the new Superman movie.
I heard it's good.
Weird flex.
I still think The Man of Steel is one of the best superhero movies of all time. I would die on that hill. But So in that movie,
but have you seen the new one, Jeremy?
No, but so in that movie, Superman, when he's growing up on planet Earth, like his senses, his hypersensitivity and senses on powers are starting to come in, and he's overwhelmed and he can't think straight, and like he has to learn to control it. And then later on, when General Zod comes, he lands on the planet and he's not acclimated to this planet, and like he can't control his mind and his senses and his powers. It's just like all over the place. I kind of pictured that with Elzar when he took off. He's like he just couldn't concentrate. He couldn't do anything.
All the death around him, and he couldn't focus.
And so then he had to put his helmet back on, and he was fine. And so,
are we a pro Elzar podcast or an anti Elzar podcast or a neutral?
I don't know. Like sometimes I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about. And other times he just seems like he's dumber than a box of rocks. I don't know.
How do you feel? I guess you could decide that for us, Grace.
Oh, well, I was just like, what are you doing, Elzar? Like, keep the helmet on. Like, again, it's there to protect you.
I think it's more of the sense to like show how chaotic it was, though.
I know.
Viewer.
And it's like, I think it's just also, he wants to like know like, well, what happens if we don't have our armor? Like, is it actually matter?
Yeah, it's like testing
in the environment.
Water, you know?
So we know it works against a Nameless because they tested it with a Nameless earlier in the book. And so it's like, well, what else is this planet? Are all the creatures in life like the Nameless, or is it whatever? So like, I don't know.
I think he was at his best in the books where he was like aide to Lena So and doing the political stuff. I liked him in that setting, and I do think he's an interesting character, right? Like it's a very interesting take on a Jedi who's like touched darkness and like has to live with that. But
I thought his character in the beginning of the books earlier was really cool and intense, and you thought he was gonna just go be bad, and he would have been like one of the first like bad guys, and then like they changed his character so much.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And so something that they did that I thought was very underutilized was one of the 9 was named Tarek, and he has a Bond twin that's also a Jedi, and they can see each other's thoughts across the galaxy wherever there are. And so
they should have used that.
Tarek is like there's like one chapter where they're the narrator. They're just talking about what they're describing. And then like when someone speaks, it's that person's voice that's being communicated back to the Jedi because their twin is also a Jedi who's on the other side conveying these thoughts so they can communicate, because they can't communicate with normal radios off this planet. And so everything's just being described to that. I was like, this is going to be a cool way. I hope like the whole book is like this. And it was just for like one chapter. And then nothing happens with him for the rest of the book, really, which was kind of lame.
They just added them in there just so that you knew that they were able to communicate.
Right.
Like that's what all that was.
And so now, I don't know if you guys noticed this. So Tarek was the person of the first 9. And then the Bond twin was Seret, so it's just the same name spelled backwards.
I did not notice that.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's just kind of cool that
that's kind of cool.
And I didn't notice that until I was writing my notes. I actually had to like write the names down. I'm like,
oh, cool.
Oh, these are the same names but backwards. So I thought it was kind of cool. And so it also kind of reminded me of kind of like a dyad in the Force that we got in.
For sure.
That was one of my favorite things of the sequel trilogy, was a dyad in the Force concept, and that, you know, Palpatine says a dyad in the Force, something we haven't seen in centuries. And I think like this was a dyad in the Force. I think Avar and Elzar are kind of
I agree,
a dyad in the Force to some degree. And so the High Republic, there's probably a lot of
how it ends. It's very much so that.
Yeah, literally.
Yep. And so that happens, and they look up into the sky, and there's a ship in the sky. Oh, cool! But it was just like the silhouette. And no one, like, oh, it was just probably some random ship that got stuck in the veil, blah, blah, blah. And then it blows up.
Whoa.
Like, oh, that's weird.
Hello.
That's kind of weird. And then not too long after, Markion Ro shows up, and he has like over 100 Nameless on his sides, like walking with him. Like, hey guys, I just blew up my ship. And Bell was super mad. He's like, I should have recognized the silhouette of that. How stupid am I? I should have knew Markion was here. And so that happens. And he's like, here's my plan. So the Nameless not being on this planet and the Nameless being killed is causing the blight throughout the galaxy. And I want all power and fame, and no one can tell me what to do. So I'm just going to use the Rod of Power here and have the Nameless kill themselves, and there'll be no Nameless, and then the blight is going to take over the entire galaxy and kill everyone, destroy the Force, the dark and the light, even like rocks and earth and minerals and stuff, they're going to be destroyed into dust. And it's all because of me, because I want all the power and all the make all the decisions. And that's his plan. He commands the Nameless to kill each other, and so then you have over 100 Nameless just going crazy, killing each other, attacking the Jedi. Jedi are trying not to kill them because they know that it's making it worse, so they're trying to save them, but then they can't because they're killing each other.
That's something I don't feel like we explained that well. Like, if the Nameless dies, the blight gets bigger.
Yes, exactly.
And is stronger. So,
yeah, and we get explained later on when Elzar and Avar discover what's actually happening on this planet. And so Tarek gets injured and is kind of like get put in like a coma medical pod thing or whatever. So there's no communication back to the rest of the Jedi off planet. Torben, he gets killed trying to get the Rod of Power, or the Rod of Ages, sorry. And then Aslan gets the Rod of Ages, and then he just runs away. Like, cause he's super terrified. And I'm kind of confused. Did he not have armor on this whole time?
I thought he did.
No, he did.
I thought later on in the book, like he's like had no armor on. Was that after he like?
Oh, he took his armor off at some point. Yeah, okay. That's right.
So he was so scared of the Nameless because the reason he turned to the dark side is because he experienced the Nameless and was terrified of him, and it just consumed him, and he turned him to the dark side. So he runs off. Ty and Wreath, they're like, all right, we gotta get Aslan. He got our weapon. We need to get him. He's a loose cannon. He's with the dark side. Like, we gotta get him. And so then it's Bell, Buryaga, and Bell's like, I gotta go after Markion. Yeah. He's like, I want vengeance, but like I'm not gonna call it vengeance. I want justice. Blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever.
Exactly.
But we know why.
But
we all know.
But then like Elzar and Avar, they see blood tracking into the woods in the forest jungle. Like, oh, this is the Nameless. This is the one that, when they're fighting each other, there's gonna be one left that hasn't died. So we're gonna follow that one. Let's go, guys. And Bell's like, no, I'm going after Markion. And right, fine, whatever. And then Buryaga was like, I'll go with you. But then he's like, oh no, Tarek is alone in the wreckage of the thing. Like, we can't leave them, so I'm gonna put him in a backpack basically and walk through the jungle, and we go fight Markion. I'm like, okay. And then Ember obviously goes with Bell and them. And so the group was just 5 minutes earlier, honky dory, all happy, living the dream. And now they're down. One guy's dead. One guy's in a coma. Darkseid user runs off with their only weapon. 2 people go after them, and now they're all split up. So
yeah. How did you guys feel about that? I mean, it allowed for like interesting stories to develop, which I think was for the best. But I was also kind of annoyed. It felt like it was like just too convenient that they all had to split off into these 2 little groups.
Well, I expected it. Like, it wasn't going to be an easy mission where they all could stay together. Like, obviously, they have to do the Nameless stuff, and then Markion was going to be there. So 2 things were going to happen at the same time. I didn't anticipate Aslan going rogue, right, when I should have. But
yeah.
I think, Grace, you feel that way because you just want to get to the end result because we've been reading 8 of these books.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah,
and like they keep splitting up. Like it's like to the point where it's like it's too redundant. It's like, all right, let's just get to the end of this now because it's been 8
Yeah.
It's been 3 years of this thing, and
Esportsy says in the chat, when has the Star Wars story ever kept the party together? Never.
True.
No, honestly, it's true. That's kind of their thing. So
yeah, I think that's maybe where all my I was really like frustrated reading this book, clearly based on my reactions. And I think it must be that Drew that I just was like, okay, like I get it, like
let's go.
Let's get to Markion. Let's like figure out what's going on with the Nameless. Like I don't need to hear like 12 more inner monologues and like have characters wrestle.
Because like I thought about this, I was like, do I like this book? And I was like, I think I do actually like this book, but the thing is, I just want it just took too long to get there for me. But I don't think it's this book actually. I think it's like the concept of all these books. It just took too long to get to this scenario.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like at this point, I'm like, which kind of sucks. It's a sucky feeling to feel like you're like so invested into a story, and then like the outcome was like, okay, it was fine. Like it was
like, thank you. I'm glad we got there.
Like it wasn't like a crazy scenario. So I don't know.
I didn't mind the split up just because I assumed it would happen.
I knew it was gonna happen. It was too convenient not to. I think what also bothers me about that too, though, is that the other 9 that were supposed to like come in case or like the backup, like this would have been the perfect time to start showing up. You know what I mean?
But they could only show up if people died, and because they only had enough of that metal to make 9 sets of armor. So it's like they didn't.
Yeah.
They had to like wait for people to die to get replaced. So it's like
but one died, so they could just send out one at a time.
I thought it was kind of funny that like, okay, we got to make one set for this big giant Wookiee, so the backup has to be also a big guy that's same size because we can't change the armor. So it's like the backup team had to be like the same shape and size of like all the other ones. So that's why Torben took the one Wookiee Jedi's place because they're huge stature. So, but whatever. But yeah. So I like that they split up because it was just like there's so much going on that like, but it's just like every storyline I wanted to know like what was going to happen. Like what was Aslan going after? Where's the Nameless that's injured going? Like and then Markion like he's the main villain. Like how are they going to take him out? And so.
The characters are good, right? Like I really was invested in Bell and Burry, and I was invested in Elzar and Avar, and I was pretty invested in Reeth and Aslan as well. I was not interested at all in Ty Yorick, but whatever. She was also there.
I think you got to read other books because she's in like a bunch of other books. You only get her in one. But like she's like a monster hunter. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like, I knew that before. Oh, speaking of monsters, so last book they introduced that the Grengier are back. That the mother Grengier is alive on whatever Starlight beat that Iram or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like, I thought that was going to come into play, but I guess that's probably another book
or like a comic. Yeah.
That's probably a comic.
Like, why would they introduce that in the main adult novel, second to last book of the series, and then not have it in the final book? Like, you could do that in the 4th book and then put it in another side story, but I don't know.
Yeah. Me neither.
All right, so we're going to go. There's 3 different storylines now, so we're going to go each one at a time. So we'll just do the Markion Row stuff. Like, you'd think we'd leave that last, but that's probably like the least interesting of the 3.
Yeah.
So we got Buryaga, Bell, Ember, and then Tarek on Buryaga's back. They're just hiking through the woods, trying to find him, track him down. We get a scene where it's just Markion, and he's like super happy and giddy, like and joyous, and like super smiley. He's like, "I did it, guys! I'm the best. I win. I've never had so much joy in my life." And then Bell and them, they show up and find him, and this is when we get a POV perspective of Ember talking like a dog, like broken English, but like Bella is my home friend and Buryaga is my tall friend, blah blah blah. And like I was on this one planet, home planet, and then I went into this metal box and it appeared somewhere else. And I'm like, whoa, okay. But every time I do that with Belle, I'm happy because where Belle is, that's home, my home friend, blah, blah, blah. And then, so he senses that Markion is evil. He has a lightsaber, which is Loden Greatstorm's lightsaber, Belle's former master. And he can feel the tension. And he's like, this is a bad guy. I got to attack him. So he's like, I'm going to make the biggest fire out of my belly and I'm going to burn him to death, blah, blah. And so he's like sneaking around and being swift and going. And then he jumps and is about to shoot fire on Markion Ro. And then Markion turns and catches him by the throat. And I was so sad at this moment. I'm like, are they going to kill off Ember? Like, you don't kill the family dog. Like, this is like who cares about Torben that just died? Like, don't kill Ember. And so then, like, the fire, he's squeezing his throat. The fire that he was creating is burning the inside of him. And, like, he won't let it release. And he's also, Markion is standing on a cliff. And so he throws Ember off the cliff. And I'm like, no!
Not Ember.
Were you guys freaking out? Like,
no. I knew that there was no chance they were killing Ember.
So how do they go to fix this situation where Ember is falling to her death? Buryaga is like, YOLO, and he just jumps off to try and catch this dog and hope for the best. And we actually get a flashback explaining how he survived the fall from Starlight Beacon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Because, like, we knew that he survived. We knew that he was trapped in an underwater cave, and then Belle found him, but we never got, like, that story. Like, maybe we did in another book.
A short story, yeah.
Short story or something. But I don't know if they explained how he survived the fall.
No, they didn't.
So he's fallen through space to the planet, to the atmosphere, and there's a Rathtar falling in space with him. And he just grabs onto it, starts ripping out the guts, and then like goes inside it and like closes it shut. And this was his escape pod, was this giant Rathtar.
Yeah, pretty epic. I feel like Buryaga doesn't get enough credit.
I'm like, okay, well, if that's what we're doing, okay, good thinking, but I don't know, pretty crazy. It's like, so he's having this flashback as he's falling, trying to catch Ember. And so he catches Ember. Ember's like on fire, whatever, because she's fire breathing. And so his fur is catching on fire, and then they hit the water and sink down to the bottom, and they get back up. And then Buryaga's like exhausted and hurt. And so then Ember's on the shore, like fighting off all these other like creatures that are trying to attack him and eat him. And if you're listening to the audiobook, what happens is Buryaga looks up and you hear the lightsabers hitting each other. So you know like that they're fighting on top of the cliff. So then we go to the chapters where Belle is fighting Markion, and they're just kind of talking, and then they get in a fight, and then Markion cuts off one of the pieces of armor, and so then Belle, he's like super disoriented, and he can't think straight, and then he has like this vision of Loden Greatstorm coming to him and like encouraging him, and he's like, "You got this. You're a Jedi. You don't need me." Blah blah blah, and so then Belle, like he turns on the Force powers, and he just lifts Markion into the air and then drops him, and he breaks like a bunch of bones and is incapacitated, and that's how he defeats him. And then Tarek wakes up, and Belle and Tarek use the Force to lift Belle and Buryaga down from the ravine up there, and then they handcuff Markion, and that's how they captured him. I don't know. I thought it was a little anticlimactic.
Very much so.
I was kind of surprised they didn't kill him. I thought his ending, whatever, like, I don't know if we're going to get to it now or later, was good and like unexpected, but it was definitely unexpected.
Right. But, you know, the Jedi are supposed to be
It's a
merciful.
Jedi way. Yeah.
It's a Jedi way.
Yeah.
If Anakin was there,
that boy would have
been dead a long time ago.
He's too dangerous to be left alive.
Yeah. I'll take him now.
We will take him together.
So that's that story. So the next one we'll do the Aslan, Ty York, and Reese Silas
the
story.
Chat, do it.
Wait, so we're not going to talk about like Markian's like epilogue now? We'll talk about it at the end.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll end the podcast with the end chapter epilogue. Okay. So Aslan, he's just walking through the jungle, and he's having this like Gollum speech between his two personalities.
Yes.
Where he's talking.
Why is this so like Lord of the Rings interesting? Wow.
So he's like talking with someone. At first, you don't know what's going on. He's like hearing a voice in his head. Okay, he's just hearing whatever, but like it ends up being his dark side self that he's talking to, because he's trying to be a Jedi. He's like, I'm a good Jedi. I've never left. I want to be a good Jedi. And so it's like the Jedi self talking to the dark side self. And if you remember from Clone Wars, like the end of season 6, Yoda goes on that like mission by himself, and he has to fight his dark side self. I think it's like that. It's the same thing where so he's getting manipulated by the dark side self, convincing him to like embrace the dark side. And he's like walking through the jungle and just instantly killing creatures. It's like he's just walking by and they just like explode into a million pieces. Like he's just that powerful in the dark side of the Force. Ty and Reith catch up to him, and he just like throws Ty across the jungle and like smashes her against a tree or whatever. And Aslan's like, hey Reith, do you want to come with or no? But you probably shouldn't come. And so then they stay back, and then but Ty's like, I'm a monster hunter. I'm hunting him. I'm going to take him out, type of thing. So they're walking through the jungle. They come up with this plan, and they're like, "All right, we're going to split up again. You're going to distract him because you're friends with him. You've been working with him for a while he's been locked up. Like, you need to distract him. I'll come from behind, and I will use some of my gadgets or whatever seems will work in that situation to capture or kill him." And when Aslan is distracted by Reith, Ty goes into attack with a lightsaber to cut him in half, and Reith saves Aslan, and Ty like, why would you do this? And just before Ty attacks, Aslan's like, there's something down there. You see it. Can you describe it to me? Because Aslan's blind, but he's getting some sort of like dark side sight coming back somehow. It's kind of confusing. They didn't really explain it a lot, but he's like starting to like see through the Force a little bit. And even though they're just fighting right there, they all get like mesmerized by what they see down there. And it's described as a double helix of the light side and dark side spiraling up into the air. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And it's tons of nameless down there. Like, I think they're like walking into it and getting killed or something, or they're killing each other also. Unclear. Or something.
Yeah.
So they're just like, but they're like health. I think they describe them as like healthy ones. Like they're the natives to the planet. Like they're still there. They're healthy. They're not like crazy like the ones that were taken off planet. And so they're dying. And Aslan is like, I want them to die, but Reith is like, no, you need to keep them alive, type of thing, because it's going to destroy the galaxy if we don't. And for whatever reason, it's like we got to use the Rod of Ages. So Reith or Aslan, he's not strong enough to use it by himself because he's only dark side at this point. He's light side. Reith grabs it, still not enough light. So then Ty so all three of them are using the rod, and rather than saying die, Aslan says live. And I forgot to mention that the Rod of Ages can override the commands of the Rod of Power. So whatever is used with the Rod of Ages is what's decreed. So they want to live, so they stop killing themselves, type of thing. And so we don't know why he says live. We don't get that explanation because he stays in the dark side, moving on through the rest of the book. So it's not like he went back to his senses and became a Jedi again. So kind of weird. Reith and Ty, they kind of like pass out. Then later on in the book, Aslan finds an old Jedi ship, because earlier in the book it was mentioned that like a Jedi went to this planet to like try and like plot the course to the planet, and and this was that ship. And so he finds the ship, goes in there, finds there's a lightsaber, takes it apart, finds a kyber crystal, and bleeds the crystal, and turns it into a red blade. And the ship's working just fine, and he escapes the planet. So, what were you guys thinking when this whole double helix of the light side and dark side was flying up in the air? This is like crazy. What is this planet? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like I liked it. Like, I liked that I didn't know what was going on, but having
like,
finished reading, I'm still confused.
That's not how the Force works.
Like, I guess it's cool. I don't really understand the Nameless and their connection to the Force.
Okay, so for something that we haven't mentioned, and I don't know when we're going to mention this, but the entire time we are thinking that the Nameless is a creature.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting into that in the next story.
Okay, so we are.
The Elzar Avar story, which is next. So,
but yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. I thought it was cool. Cool concept.
Because like it kind of described it like the dark side and the light side of that double helix were like chaotic and like falling apart, and like they could tell that it wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. It wasn't like, so it's like something is broken, it's dying, something is happening. And so
I mean, it's a cool way to visually represent the Force, right? It's like a yin and yang, or I guess a double helix. Like, in order for things to be in balance, there needs to be the proper dark and light. And I like it's similar to the Mortis arc from Clone Wars, where we like are led to believe that like in this galaxy, the like greater power requires there to be an equal degree of what dark and light. And I guess this planet is just like a similar vibe to the Mortis planet. Like, I like it. I think it's a really nice metaphor. I guess I'm left with questions like, how does this planet fit in? Like, how does it connect to Mortis? Are there other planets out there like this? Like, why was a disturbance on this planet able to impact the whole galaxy? Does it even matter that Reith and Aslan and Ty saw this? Like, I assume there's going to be more Reith content. I feel like they kind of or maybe more Aslan content. They kind of like send him off with a cliffhanger. So maybe there's going to be more exploration of some of this like funky Force stuff, which I would be into.
Funky Force stuff. Well, I think to answer your question about like, did it matter? I think because all the Nameless on the planet were commanded to die. So like, fact that they stopped that and they now stopped trying to kill themselves or whatever, they weren't dying. Like, that was a good thing to help stop everything,
I guess. But in the end, it was Avar and Elzar that are
right,
actually the ones stopping everything.
Right. But if all those Nameless died before they could step in,
the blight would have expanded that much more. You're right.
Would have been, because we don't know how many. This is a whole planet. We know that like 100 of them died, like in that moment. But like, were there hundreds or thousands on this whole planet? And so if they all died, like all in a day's time or something, that might have been enough to like just instantly kill the galaxy. So I would say that it bought them time until they could figure out what's happening in the next thing with Elzar and Avar, which we'll just jump into. So at one point, Stellan Geos shows up, and did you guys believe that he was alive and well, and what he was saying was true, or did you believe it was a vision? Because when I was reading it, it got me. I thought like he's like, yeah, I was on Starlight Beacon and the Nihil, they captured me before we crashed and took me to this planet. I've been here ever since, and I'm like, okay, like this is what we're doing. All right, like I didn't expect that, but. And then it's a vision that Elzar was experiencing because of the craziness on the planet. But what did you guys think when Stellan showed up? Did you believe it or
believed
no?
it for like a second, and then I was
I
like,
thought it was a
wait.
Force ghost.
Force
But
ghost.
then I remember it's not really because Yoda was like the first people that figured out how to do the Force ghost stuff. So
the whole Force ghost thing is not consistent in Star Wars.
That's fair, actually.
So we can't really base that on anything. But I believed it at first, and I'm kind of mad that I fell for it. But
got ya.
Got me. Whatever.
We're just hoping that it was real,
right?
Well,
but
I was also hoping, and then I was like, wait, like this is kind of weird. Like maybe I don't want it, and then I was like, okay.
Because what Stellan was saying was, Elzar, you knew that I survived Starlight Beacon, but you didn't want to tell the Avar because if you guys found me, then she would be with me, and then blah 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 blah. And so you kept her for yourself. And I'm like, he's not wrong. If like that was true, that I feel like.
Also, but wouldn't that have been cool if he was alive though?
Yeah, it would have been.
It would have been really cool.
That would have like changed that whole.
And then the team could have been.
And he actually knew too that he was alive, and he actually was purposely didn't say anything.
Or even
I think that concept of the story would have been so much more intense than actually of it not actually happening like that.
I agree.
But whatever. They teased us with that concept. They're like, but it's not. So don't worry about it. It's like, what? I kind of want that concept.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool. And so I guess it was the same as like Bell seeing Loden, like a vision somehow attributed to this planet, kind of enhanced whatever senses or whatever, or messing with her mind, whatever. But they find that Nameless that was injured, and it goes to like this weird like opening with like flat like round disc, flat, shiny, weird thing. And they're like, what is this? Blah, blah, blah. And Elzar's like, I'm going to touch it, see what happens. And it's like this.
Elzar.
It's like, what's this? It ends up being like this weird portal thing. And he gets sucked into like this underground darkness void thing filled with like monsters, but it's completely black. So the only light that they have is their lightsabers. And, Avar is Elzar's ride or die. So she touches the thing and Join gets in there too. And they're both in there. And they're just trying to figure out, what do we do? And they're like fighting off monsters. And they're like, oh, there's a pink light way over there. Let's go to the pink light. And okay. And so they go touch the pink light and they get brought into another portal space. And it's like a room. And there's 3 Nameless in there, but they're like fully healthy, good looking, like not like attractive, but like they're like the best healthy form of the Nameless could be. And one turns around and looks at Elzar and says, "Are you here to kill us too?"
That was dark.
And so they don't speak with their mouths; they speak through their mind. So they're like force sensitive, I'm assuming, but they can communicate to people. And so Elzar and Avar are talking to this Nameless who's sentient. So that's the whole thing is these Nameless are not monsters, are not creatures. They're sentient beings, super intelligent. But when they're taken off planet, it drives them into a craze, turns them into monsters, and they are crazy. Because like earlier in the book, Ty, when they're on their way to the planet, Ty Yorick like takes off her helmet by a Nameless that's in one of the cages and tries to like connect with it on a deeper level, and she's about to see like there's a light inside him. Like I almost saw it, but then like Wreath shows up and pulls her away or whatever. So like there was something good in there that she was about to discover, but then didn't see it fully. And so what we learn is that the Nameless are on this planet, keeping the light side and the dark side of the Force in complete balance. I think they're implying just on this planet, not outside in the rest of the galaxy, but just on this planet, keeping the dark side and the light side perfectly in balance, and so they consume the light side or dark side in order to do that. And so they kind of like described it as like, the light side is up and the dark side is down, and when they are held together in balance, there's this open void in the space. That's the hunger, and if there's no balance, the hunger is expanded, and that's what leaks into the galaxy, and that's the blight taking over everything, destroying everything. And so when all these nameless are being killed, the nameless are not able to keep the balance, and if they're not on the planet, like, because they're all taken away, that's going to cause the blight to grow as well. And whenever a nameless dies, a pink egg forms in this room or whatever, and then it's reborn. But it's like the nameless was like, we've never seen this many eggs at one time. Like, there's so many have died. The blight is starting. The hunger is growing. There's no way we can stop that. And like, Avar was like, well, how long does it take for the eggs to hatch? And he's like, it takes decades just for one to hatch. And like, well, hatching doesn't necessarily mean that they're ready to go to like take care of the forest. So it could take another decades for that thing to grow, to learn how to be a proper worker. And so the nameless guy is just like, it's too late. There's nothing we can do. We're all going to die. What do you guys think about this idea of this?
It's a cool concept. I think it's cool. I liked it. Grace?
I liked it. I thought it was a good twist on the nameless. Like, I kind of felt like this is where we were headed. Like, the whole book, they were trying to have us have sympathy for the nameless. Like, when they're all killing each other, the Jedi are stopping them from killing each other, which is like partly self-preserving, because like when they die, the blight spreads. But also, like, I don't know. I just felt like there were multiple like little moments throughout the book where they were creating this sense of sympathy for the nameless, and so I liked this twist.
And like, from thinking that the nameless was like this evil creature for all these books, to realize that they're actually like sentient beings, and like they were evil because they're pulled off the planet, and they weren't actually like needing to be locked up and like hidden. I think that was a cool concept to like see. So I think it was a good way to end those creatures, instead of like they keep going with that narrative that they're just creature and then they just kill them or whatever they would have to do. Like, I think this is a cool way to introduce a new like alien species, and actually like the concept of it's like more deeper than I thought it was going to go with them. So I thought that was cool.
Now, a question that I had, though, I want to know your guys' perspective. So the one nameless that they were talking to, that was kind of loud. But like he says, they feed on the light side or dark side of the force to keep balance. Like, when one's out of balance, they will eat that, consume that to like bring balance. Now, out in the galaxy, the nameless are drawn to Jedi light side force users, and they consume them. So does that mean that outside in the galaxy, there's too much light side of the force, and that's why the Jedi are succumbed to their attacks? But like, if Aslan was out there and he was fully consumed by the dark side, would he be safe because there's too much light and they want to bring less light down? I don't know. I kind of thought that's like, if a nameless encountered a Sith Lord, because they're out there somewhere, that Sith Lord would have been just fine. That's kind of like how I was seeing it.
That's also how I interpreted it. Jeremiah. Yeah.
I think that makes sense too, because like the dark side of the force, they're especially like towards this time, there wasn't as many, or like there's no Sith yet. So
they're in hiding. There's still two out there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I think it's just like there's this overwhelming amount of Jedi, which is why they were doing that.
Which kind of makes sense, because we're in the High Republic period, like the whole like light and life, and that's actually a really good point. Yeah, it would fit well with the general vibe of the High Republic.
Yeah, I just think that's super interesting how that it's never stated, but I kind of like if you're just kind of reading between the lines, there's too much Jedi power out there doing good, and the Nameless were feeding off that. And so it's kind of interesting to think about. I don't know if we'll ever get that answer unless we meet the author. What's his name? Charles Soule. So we should. If I ever meet him, I'll ask him what it was. So I'll just text. I'll just text him. How about that?
Oh yeah, that sounds good. And we all have his number, obviously.
Yep.
So I don't.
Oh well. Oh. Lame.
I'll get it from you later, Grace.
Okay, we'll see.
Not from me though.
No, from Grace.
I'll give you like Ryan Johnson's phone number instead or something. Yeah. Anyway, so Elzar and Avar, they're like not happy about what's going on. They they leave this room, go back into the void, and there's like all these monsters out there. They're like ready to fight and eat them. And Avar's like, something's going on, because when she goes into this void, she can't hear the song, and she's like, there's no force here. And she's like, no, the force is here, but it's the dark side. We're in the dark side of this system here, and I have to learn to hear that sound. So she goes into this deep meditation while Elzar is fighting off all these monsters. She's not strong enough, so she like connects with him while he's fighting off, and she kind of gets enlightened about all this stuff and how the planet needs help. They need a light side user and a dark side user to help pull the balance together. And she's like, she exits out of the vision, and because Elzar was connected to her, they both understand what has to happen, and they have to stay on the planet, and one person has to be producing the light side of the force while the other is using the dark side. And at first, Elzar's like, we can't have Aslan do the dark side. We can't trust him. And Avar's like, silly Elzar, that's you. You need to be the dark. You've touched the dark side before. You know more about it than I do. You have to be here. And so they decide they have to stay on the planet and give their lives to stay in like this forced meditation until the Nameless can be reborn. And so after all this happens, all the groups start coming back together. So Bell and that team, they get back to the ship. Ty and Reith, they get back to the ship, and then there's talking like, what's going on? Like, where's Aslan? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, you got, Markion Roll, and he's playing dead. He's trying to be unconscious, but he's awake. And Ty's like, I know when a monster's actually awake.
An animal.
Yeah, animal is awake, which is kind of funny. And
I liked that.
It implies that he continues to like play along, that he's like not awake, kind of like a kid, like falls asleep in the back of the car. And
it's like Miles.
Like the kid is awake, but they're pretending to be asleep, so they don't got to do anything. But whatever. And so then, as they're talking, Elzar shows up with that Nameless by the side, and like, whoa, what's going on? And so there's this Nameless there, and they're all freaking out. And then the Nameless starts talking to them through the Force or whatever. And we learn that their name is the Shrikar Kai, or whatever it's pronounced. Shrikar Kai. It's Shrikarai. And so that's what they call themselves. I think it says it's translated as the balance or something, or maybe that's the name of the planet is the balance or something. Oh. And the reason Avar is not there is because she's already set up on a light side point, and this Nameless is bringing Elzar to the dark side point on the planet. And Elzar is basically, all right, guys, this is what's happening. You have to keep this planet a secret from the rest of the galaxy. Don't tell anyone except the Jedi Council and like the Chancellor or whatever. We can't let anyone come here to mess with the Nameless, because what we're doing here is going to save the planet. And if this gets disrupted again, we're all going to die. And so that's that. And at this point, the other 9 have arrived on the planet, and Tarek was able to connect with Seret again, and they're there. So then the ship just comes down and to go rescue them, and they go back. And so then the rest of the book is just basically a montage of all the different storylines, all the different characters, and what's happening with that. So we'll just go over that, and that's the end of the book. So the blight stops.
Before we get into that, I think we should have some coffee.
Oh.
You don't want to end the book without a nice drink to finish it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've already been enjoying my Star Wars Diet Coke. I think it's time for some coffee for sure.
So if you are trying to save the galaxy from a blight and you are giving yourself to the light side or the dark side to keep the blight from expanding, and you need something to pass the time and maybe need a little pep in your step to stay awake so you don't fall asleep and destroy the galaxy.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen.
I'm falling asleep. I need this.
What better way than coffee or tea from Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So let's take a little listen to that.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code Empire Radio, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. My mic was muted.
I was like, oh, what's going on? All right.
I know.
So let's just go over all these random things.
Wait, and we are going to like reflect on the ending for Elzar and Avar, right? Is that after we go through the random things?
Yes.
Grace is like, I need to talk about this.
Because the last two chapters are the Elzar Avar final thing, and then the Markian Ro thing.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Great. Those are my two favorite parts.
Yep. So Gira.
Who cares?
So we should mention that when the Gaze Electric was destroyed, that took down the storm wall, and so then the RDC went into the OZ zone, the occlusion zone, and took back Iriadu, took back the rest of the thing, and then Gira was basically, we're done. So she does terms of surrender, and I'll give you all these terms, I'll give you all these ideas, names, and blah 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 if you pardon me and whatever. So Lena's like, fine. Lena so pardons Gira, and something that she does that's very interesting is so. The Nihil had a lot of great scientists and created a bunch of great inventions and stuff. She takes that technology and discoveries and stuff, and she gives those to
the Republic,
the Techno Union, the Trade Federation, and the banking clans.
I forgot about that. Yes.
And so those are the three main players that become the Separatists during the Clone Wars. So that's very interesting. That maybe the droid technology that the Techno Union develops to create the battle droids is a result of Nihil technology and discoveries, probably related to Bulin, who was working with the Nameless, enhancing Nameless. Like, I don't understand how the banking clan has to take advantage of science and technology and stuff, but whatever. So I just thought that was interesting. And so she's like, because she gave those groups that power, she's like, I need you to campaign on my behalf to get this pardon for me. And so they kind of influence Lena without her knowing what happened, type of thing, which is kind of implied. So I just think that's very interesting that that's a backstory between major players in the Separatists. Lena, she has a point where she reflects on the state of the Republic, and she kind of has this idea of there's this story that the Republic puts off. Like, the story is, going to be justice and people are being treated fairly, and all this stuff, and that the Republic is good. Even though we fail, people need to believe in that story. And once people stop believing in that story, that's when problems happen. And I thought that was just very interesting that's what the Clone Wars does, is it makes people lose faith in the Republic, and that causes the separatists, and then war happens, and then the Empire shows up. And it's also, the whole story thing was also related to the Jedi too, that people believe in the Jedi, believe their story, that they're good, but if they believe that they're bad, then they cease to have any influence. And so the Clone Wars did the same thing, where people stopped believing in the Jedi. And so I just think that was super interesting. We had literally like 2 sentences about Bell. It's basically, he never saw Roland again, and he was happy with that. And that was it.
Yeah. That was a good ending for Bell. I feel like that was a character they brought full circle across all of these books.
Yeah. Buryaga was just hanging out in the Jedi Temple one day and sensed everyone in the Jedi Temple and their feelings and emotions, and sensed one Padawan that was sad and felt like they were incompetent. And then just him going to that Padawan to encourage them.
Also a good ending.
Yep. Reef Silas decides he wants to go after Aslan and find him. Mm-hmm. And that is a book I want to read.
I agree.
I really want Aslan to become an apprentice to a Sith. Like I really want a Sith story. I really want us to actually get into that line of the Sith, and I want to see like him get discovered by either the Sith master or like a Sith apprentice who wants to take someone under their wing. Like, I think it'd be cool. And then Reith just kind of like getting all into that and like getting caught up in trying to stop this. And maybe he discovers the Sith, but then he dies, and then so no one knows about it. Like, I don't know. I think it'd be a cool story. I don't know if we're gonna get it.
I agree. I also think that Reith is a good character to like help us explore those themes, because he's like this like scholar, so he could like, I don't know, he could like learn a lot about the Sith in the archives, and then like find some ruins. Like it's a good base for that sort of exploration if it were to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Jedi threw a big party at the temple to celebrate. Fun. It was basically a Great Gatsby's like size party. Gosh. That's kind of what it reminded me of when they were describing it.
I was recently, like in the last couple months, talking about that, because I feel like if I were to ever have a themed birthday, I would want it to be like Great Gatsby.
Great Gatsby, themed. Bougie, rich people.
That's so
you have the fireworks going off. You turn around with the like Leonardo DiCaprio in that one scene, and he nods.
Like the 1920s style fashion. Oh, so fun.
Are we going to get invited to this party?
110%.
Ooh.
Are you going to hold it in Minnesota for
No, but you guys have the airline connection.
Well, he does, not me. I still have to pay for a ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about the details.
If you throw a big Gatsby party,
yeah,
we'll go.
Yeah.
Oh,
you heard it here first, folks. I will buy a ticket. I will go there. I will buy, or I'll rent a retro tuxedo or something. And
that'd be fun.
I'm not dancing. You can't get me dancing on a dance floor doing some swing dance. You won't see me do that, but I'll be off onto the side.
Jeremiah, come on, you make a dance. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
No. At the party, Yoda just reflects on the Jedi Order. And then he's like, all right, let me bust some moves out there. So he goes and joins the party. I want to see Yoda at a party.
Bro, you know that boy's doing flips like crazy.
At this point, he's like not as gray probably. So he probably has like the 1970s sideburns that are a little like, he's about to do like some dancing or something.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that. Him and Yaddle or something doing something.
Whoa.
Whoa. Making Grogu?
No. Ty Yorick. I think she was at the party or something, but she's like, maybe the Jedi aren't so bad. And it kind of left us on a cliffhanger that maybe she was interested in trying to go back to the Jedi. Mm-hmm. We don't know for sure. I think that was all of those. So then we just have the two main ones left. We get a picture of Elzar and Avar and what they're doing. So the way they described it was something, Grace, you just mentioned a moment ago, the yin and the yang. Mm-hmm. Like they literally say the dark side is a dark spot in a bright side of the planet. Yeah. And then Avar is on a dark side of the planet that has a light spot. So it's literally that picture of the yin and yang that we get, and kind of interesting that they chose to go like that. And so they're stuck in those positions. It says like if they leave those positions, it breaks. But they're so in tune with the Force and so connected that like they can still see each other and commune with each other, but they can never like see each other in person or touch each other or whatever. And so we're never going to get any more about them. So
I thought it was a pretty good ending, though. It was it was unexpected. I mean, it was expected in the sense that I knew this was Star Wars, so they were never going to like let the two Jedi characters get together happily. But I just expected that like one of them would, to get
without
like
killing them.
Literally, exactly.
Because that was my thought too. Was like, oh, one of them has to die.
Yeah.
But it sucks for Avar because it's like he finally was able to get rid of the dark side in him, and now he has to live in it forever.
It's really sad. Really, really sad.
If you think of it like that, it's pretty dark. Literally.
But I wonder, do you think that being so connected to the Force in those moments that they lived a lot longer than they normally would have, or do you think they lived a normal human length of life and that was enough? Because they said it takes decades for a single egg to hatch. So like if 100 of those eggs showed up and they all
single or
same
is it
incubation, well, it implied like from the start of them showing up, it takes decades.
So it should only take 1 decade.
Well, it said decades plural. So I don't know if
like
that's
2
decades or 3, 4, or 5. We don't know exactly how, but obviously it worked because 250 years later we get the Phantom Menace.
Yep.
And so either they're still alive because their lives are being perpetuated by their connection with the Force, and the Nameless are still growing and needing to do their thing, or in the next 30, 40, 50 years that they were alive, that was enough for the Nameless to grow up and do what they needed to do.
Yeah. I think I was taking it like they were so connected, like it didn't even matter anymore. Like they're so in depth in the Force, like even if they die, they're still there. Like it's still doing it. You know what I mean? Like, they're just so much of the Force. They're so in tune with it that like, even if their bodies die, like they're still in tune with it. Like they're still doing it. So I don't know. I think it was a really good ending for a relationship that was not supposed to be a relationship.
Yes.
Like these people that were hiding, and without killing, like I said, like killing one of them off, but to keep them together in solitude, and like they don't have to hide from it because they're just there together doing it, and they're so in tune together anyways. Like that's the only two people that probably could do it anyways. Yeah. So I thought that was a really good ending to that concept of their relationship. That kind of saved the book for me.
I agree. It was just so tragic and beautiful, and I liked it too because it really reminded me of the Mortis arc from Clone Wars, and how like basically Anakin had a similar choice and he didn't stay, and that's why like he at the end of the day was kind of evil, and you know these two are like our quintessential High Republic Jedis who represent everything that's good and selfless.
But it makes you think, like, if there was more Jedis that actually were able to be in relationships with each other, could they do crazy miracle things like this?
Wow.
But because the Jedi Order doesn't let them do that, then you get outcomes like Anakin.
Literally.
Complete opposite.
Well, last book, Yoda says you can have these relationships. You just need to be able to let them go when they break off or someone dies. Like it's just the attachment thing. Like you can still have these because like they had a whole conference. I think that was just the 5th book, right? And so
yeah, you just can't have like long-term committed relationships or whatever.
You can have a girl on the side though. Is that what it is?
No, I'm saying like it's about the attachment. Like you can have them, you can have that attachment, but once it's time to, if they die or they leave or something, you don't hold on to that attachment. You just let go. But it's not that easy. That's not how oxytocin works and stuff like that.
Well, and that's like to my point of why I think like it doesn't matter if they die or not, because like one, like how are they eating? Like they can't leave.
Right.
You know what I mean? They can't drink, they can't eat, they can't go to the restroom or what, you know what I mean? So like they have to be into the force to the point where their body, their inner, like it's all inner, it's not even outer.
Well,
so I feel like
to think about it from the acolyte, the one Jedi that took the brash vow that was just hovering in air or whatever, was like in that invisible pod for like, was it 10 years or 15 years or whatever it was?
Yeah.
And he never had to eat or use the restroom or anything like that. So there is truth to that.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like
the force,
they're just there. Their body doesn't
exist.
Really. So,
any other final thoughts on those two?
No.
All right. Sad. So the last thing is Marchion Ro's fate. So, so when we went over the Gira stuff, she was like in the Senate chamber waiting for, it was like during like the trial and like waiting for the verdict and all this stuff. So in that, Marchion is able to give his one statement of defense type of thing because his lawyer that was appointed to him somehow killed, but they don't know how he got killed. In a room when it was a closed room and no one was there or whatever. 2 other lawyers were appointed, but like, nope, we don't want to do this. So then Marchion was just by himself. He criticizes the Republic. That's all he gets. And then he gets his sentence of life of solitary confinement. He'll be completely alone on a prison ship run by droids in secret. No one will know where it is. No one will be able to find it. And you just have to live there for the rest of your life until you just die. And so it kind of shows like the day-to-day thing where he's just there and unlimited food. One of the droids malfunctions and he tries to fix it, and it says that he felt sad that one of his friends has died, the droid. Said that there was an open airlock that at any moment he could have just chosen to end it, and he didn't. He tried to find ways to like escape by like repurposing droids and to make like a ship or something, but wasn't able to do that. And then it stated like he got an illness or something.
Old and sick, yeah.
He got sick and then he just ended up dying by himself. And so we don't know how long that was. It kind of implied that it was years and years and years, which I'm pretty sure people go crazy a lot faster than that.
But the thing is, you go crazy if you're always crazy anyways.
Yeah, but solitary confinement is so torturous because we are made for connection. And so people can't survive well by themselves. So, but
he had droids.
That's how he died and lived out the rest of his life. So he's just on a random ship moving through space in like a asteroid or something. Like eventually it's going to run into someone. Someone's going to find it, but he'll be dead. So that was the High Republic Publishing Initiative, the adult novels, all 6/8 of them, however you want to count them. So what were your guys' overall thoughts? We normally say this at the beginning, but of this specific book, overall thoughts, like, out of 10, how many nameless out of 10 would you give this final book? And then we might as well say, how would you rate the High Republic as a whole, the whole book series? So.
Okay, I'll go first. I feel like Grace is thinking about it. I feel like I would give this book like a solid 7.8.
Very precise.
Like I don't know, like not an 8, but like close. And I thought it was like it wasn't bad. Like I think the outcome at the end, I liked a lot of it, but kind of just took way too long to get there, and then things like were just harder to grasp at certain points. But it wasn't like that. Those two middle ones are like I forget which one I hated the most, but there was one that was just awful. It wasn't like that.
It was a fifth book because it was just a love story. Then nothing happened.
Yeah. So, but I think overall the High Republic books and stuff, like all of them, I feel like I'd probably give the whole series like an 8. Like it wasn't horrible. It was an enjoyable read. I feel like in a few years you can read them all at once. I feel like that would kind of be like it would make more sense. But like I think the issue with this whole concept of initiative and stuff is that there's so much going on in other media, like it's almost too much. Like if they would have just done here, we're coming out with 8 books of this concept, I feel like it would have been more enjoyable than finding out characters' names and stuff and assuming that your audience is going to go out and read the graphic novels of this character and stuff like it was just too much other media that you had to like get to understand the story because it's also so new concept and new stories, and we don't even have like any visual media of the stories or these characters. So like I think if we would have got just like this like the adult novels, all of them, and it would have just made sense, I feel like it would have flowed better. Also like the ones in the middle that were like prequels, like I think that was kind of a dumb concept too. Like just put them out in order. Like why are we going back?
It's Star Wars, we don't do things in order.
They should have done them in order.
Like it doesn't make any sense. Like,
well, if they did them in order, people would have gave up after those first 2.
Yeah, probably.
Whoa.
We wouldn't have because of the podcast,
but I think the original 3 really pulled me into the story.
Yeah.
And I think that's what sold it for me to continue.
That's
like
true.
I honestly, those first 2 books, like the prequel books, like Fawn 2 was just the worst. Like that was one of the worst characters. Grace, we debated that when we did those book reviews, but like Fawn 2, like he was just annoying. Like that story was just kind of like the first book was okay. The second book I thought was really good. It was one of my favorite ones, but like it was a short 2-book story. I don't know if that would have been enough to like want me to embrace another 6 books, but those first 3 books really brought me in, left us on a cliffhanger. I'm like, what's going to happen next? And stuff like that. And so like for this book specifically, I'd probably the same as Drew, probably like high 7 or 8 or something like this, because there's a lot of things that weren't explained, like the Rod of Ages, and like we never got the other 9 to help out. Like there's this some stuff about like this whole stuff about this planet and what it does and what the Nameless actually do and how
it was well done.
The void really of hunger is in the middle, and I thought it was really cool. I thought it was, even though I felt it was disconnected from the rest of the story, I still felt it was a strong finish.
Yeah.
And so, but overall for the whole High Republic story and concept and stuff, I really liked. I'd probably give it like an 8 or 9, just because I really liked Nihil as like a villain, like a non-force, like non-Sith, non-Empire entity that's like a galactic-wide enemy, antagonist. Like I think it was a really cool, compelling idea. The Nameless were cool, and the Occlusion Zone, the Storm Wall, like all this stuff was just a very interesting story. And I wish we could have got it as like a movie trilogy or like a TV series, live action, or even an animated like Clone Wars style would have been cool. But like,
now Jeremiah,
yes,
something that we should just add to. Which is your favorite book out of all of them?
Oh, The Eye of Darkness. That was always my favorite.
That was mine too. That
book
was
such a good one.
It was so well done, written in tens, and you're just like, oh, it was so good.
I feel like I should go back and read that original book, the original 3 again, because I feel like I remember the least about those. But like, but then that second prequel book, The Cataclysm, I really like that one too because it's had a lot of parallels with the Eye of Darkness and concepts, and so that's one of the reasons why I liked it so much. So,
what are your guys' favorite characters?
Porter Engel, he's probably my favorite, even though he's like one of the least that are in these adult novels. Buryaga is super cool.
Buryaga is pretty
I love
sweet.
Buryaga.
I like Avar. Of that trio of friends, Avar is probably my favorite.
Yeah. I like the concept of the bad guy. I just think that ending kind of just fell off for me. But like him in the Eye of Darkness, that book was so well done, where I like loved his character, and then it kind of fell. I felt like it really felt like they didn't know what to do with his character anymore.
I agree,
which is sad. So like they had to keep adding other things to make it more interesting. So,
all right,
I don't know. Grace,
Grace, overall thoughts on this book? How would you rate it out of 10? And then overall thoughts on the High Republic as a whole,
and your favorite book.
Oh yeah, I did not like this book at all. I give it a 4.
Oh wow!
Out of
10. Really?
Yeah, I was really I was hate reading it, honestly.
Really?
Wow.
You didn't express that at all really tonight. I thought you were like pretty on board for most of it.
Okay, honestly, like in hindsight, like we're doing the review at the end is kind of better now that we're doing it this way, because we would never thought Grace would have like hated this book.
Well, yeah, but chill. Drew, when you hate something and I like it, I always try and convince you by the end that it's better than it was. I wasn't in that mindset with Grace.
With us, we can tell right away if we hate it or not. With Grace, she's just like chill. The lawyer in her is not going to tell us anything.
A heartless lawyer. Yeah. I knew it.
She's not going to tell if you're good or bad. Like, she's going to represent you to the very end.
I didn't want to be negative during the podcast, and I really enjoyed talking about it.
But anyway, explain why you hate it, though.
It was a combination of things. Number one, I felt like there were all those logic gaps that we talked about that were not explained, and then number two, it was, again, we've talked about this, but I feel like they got to this book and they had just been like stretching the plot out, and there was nothing left. Like this whole book was like them wandering around the planet, which it was exciting that they got Markion and they like figured out what was going on with the Nameless, but there were a lot of internal monologues or like external monologues. Like anytime Markion was talking, I was so annoyed. He was just spewing nonsense. People were spewing nonsense in their head. It was going nowhere. And then I think what also really frustrated me is similar to you guys, loved phase 1. I liked phase 2, and I saw phase 3 as this opportunity to like, I don't know, weave in some of the lore, because I read all of the phase 2, and there was a lot of like lore about Markion's family and lore about like this planet X and the Nameless. Like there was a ton of stuff that I thought they were going to connect, and then they just like Aslan is a connection, but otherwise I feel like
kind of just dropped the ball on
phase 2 had no point, and then there are like all these remaining unanswered questions, or like maybe it's not like they're not really questions to be answered, but it's just like we were talking about like what's gonna happen with Avar and Elzar, like where are the records about this planet?
Yeah, I feel like those two though, like you kind of want it to be like that though. You like don't need an answer to like the relationship is the relationship, and that's like what it is now. You know what I mean? Like
you're right.
But yeah, like Planet X also I feel like it's like okay. I don't know. The name bothered me so much. I was like, you guys could have made up a better name on the spot than X.
Literally.
Planet X today.
Well, I think it's because they couldn't get to the planet because there was a surveyor named it that, and they couldn't get to the planet because of the veil, and so they didn't even. Not gonna give it a name because it wasn't something they could search on, discover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I don't know. I just like I was invested in Ballenbury and invested in Elzar and Avar and like kind of invested in Wreath, but I just felt like there were all these other characters in this book that I like didn't care about, and I didn't like that we kept like going to them. Like the twins were cool, and like I read them a bit in the comics, but like I didn't really need them to be there. Didn't really need I I liked Porter, similar to you, Jeremiah. So that was fun. But like, I didn't even feel like that. I don't feel like that storyline was closed. I was like, the whole point with Porter is that he's trying to find his sister. Like we've been talking about that since we read that comic, and it's like still unresolved. Really? Like,
that was one of the other ones I forgot to mention, because it does say that he goes back to the Grenadier or whatever that planet was.
Yeah.
That she died. He's like, I'm going to see if I can find my sister, and if not, that's fine, because V said she's dead. I'm like, well, if she's dead, then that's fine, but I'm going to go see if I can follow any lead. So there is that. He's out there searching.
Yeah, but like it's been like 3 or 4 books. Like I don't know. Also, now it no longer makes sense to me. I'm like, okay, they were separated, and then he never looked for her in all of these years. I don't know. Anyway, I don't need to get more into it. I was just, I think my main takeaway was that I didn't like that it felt a little bit untethered from phase 2, and I didn't like that it felt like, just because of the nature of how long the whole High Republic was, it felt a little bit stretched thin.
Yeah,
by the end.
it felt like they were just trying to finish it, but then not in a way where like they answered everything necessarily, and also it just felt too stretched. Like it was like they could have ended this last book if they would have just added.
Yeah, so I don't know, but overall, I think I give the High Republic a 7 out of 10, just because I like the first 2 phases a lot. And phase 3 was like fine. Maybe if I go back and read some of the comics and like read the books in phase 3 that I missed, I'll like it more, but I'm not sure. I feel a lot of hostility towards it currently, so I'm gonna have to take some breathing time.
Dang.
Dark Side Grace coming out.
Yeah,
okay.
I like it.
And my favorite book is Convergence, the one that you guys hate.
Oh yeah.
I think to your point, Grace, like if they would have just done 8 books and told a story in 8 books, it would have felt better. I feel like so we had the concept of viewing it as in like we haven't read everything, so there's these plot holes.
Yeah.
You have a thing where you're invested so much because you've read everything.
Yes.
That they didn't fix the things or give you the answers you wanted. So either way, they messed up. So either way, it doesn't matter which way you did it. So it's like if you just read the adult novels, which like we mostly did, it's like we didn't get the answers we wanted, or like we were just thrown things because we didn't understand them. And then for someone who's read it all, you're still confused. That's a problem. That's not a good thing, which I think they're going to see that, I hope. And like, maybe just like, if they're going to do more concepts like this, like just do books.
They said that they said there's going to be more High Republic stuff coming out in the future. Like we do know that there's that tie to the Acolyte, the Venestra Row and Indara book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when that comes out. I don't know if we might read it. I don't know.
I think it did come out. I saw it on my Audible.
It already came out? Okay. But
yeah, I think going forward, they're going to do more concepts of like the High Republic and stuff. Like,
they need to make it into shows and movies or animated stuff. Like, they got to get a larger audience into the High Republic. Like, when they announced Project Luminous back in 2020, like when we first started the podcast, that was one of our first episodes when they announced that. We thought shows and movies, that's going to be the direction of that. They're going to have the book publishing initiative, and then they're going to make movies and shows, and they never did that except for the Acolyte, which is technically High Republic. But
it's also like 100 years after. Like it's not even.
Yeah.
Right.
There's only one character from this that's in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think like going forward though, I do think like instead of like connecting because I understand their mindset too. Like I'm gonna give them some grace on that, where it's like they want people to read all the media and spend all the money on all this stuff. Like that's what they want, but they got to be realistic and understand that people aren't gonna do that. And so if you're gonna make a trilogy story or 8 episode book, like just do books, and then you can do a similar thing with the comics, but then just do a different timeline and just every once in a while have a cool character from the books to go in there instead of hiding things in the comics and making you read the comics to understand the books better. Like I feel like if you do the books and then add stuff to the comics, it's going to be less like people are gonna not care as like it's not gonna affect the story as much as if you did the opposite way, which is what they did. It's like we learn these characters because all of a sudden we're supposed to know this guy. I'm like, I don't know this dude, and I'm supposed to know everything about him already because of comic books. Like, no, like, so I think that's where they kind of dropped the ball a little bit.
All right.
I agree.
Cool. Well, I think that's all we have to say about the High Republic and this book specifically. So we might as well transition over to everyone's favorite time of every episode, voicemail time.
It's voicemail time.
All right. Well, we're gonna try and go through these pretty quick. We got 6 of them, so let's just go. I know Grace is trying to get to bed,
falling asleep already,
but she's a partier now. She's like staying up late, going to late night movies, drinking.
We're preparing you for tomorrow for the movie night.
Oh my gosh!
She's gonna message us.
I think I should just sleep.
I fell
here
asleep
tonight.
in the middle.
Yeah, you're on a couch right there.
It's not even worth driving home.
All right, let me just play this first one from Stelio. Let's take a listen.
Vampire Radio, it's Stelio again. Thought I'd leave you a voicemail when I'm not half asleep. I got a different take for you. Well, not a different take, but there's a couple little details I noticed sort of rewatching through Andor. I wondered if you guys noticed or had sort of the same interpretation as me. One of them being when Luthen tells Lonnie about Yavin, it's to test if the ISB knows about Yavin or not before he goes through with telling them about the Death Star over at Yavin. And then the other little thing that I think it's actually like confirmed is Saw Gerrera in that sort of base that he had Willman teaching the other guy the combinations. That's actually the Resistance base from episode 7. Anyway, you guys are great. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Stelio. So yes, Dakar, that's where that planet was. That is the Resistance base in episodes 7 and 8. So that's pretty cool. And that is an interesting point about when Luthen told Lonnie about Yavin, and Lonnie did not know about Yavin. So the ISB did not know about Yavin. So that's a very interesting observation. So thank you for those thoughts. Next up, we have 3 from Sky King. So let's take a listen to number 1.
Empire Radio, Sky King here. Been on a little hiatus lately, just finishing up, getting caught up on the last month or so of podcasts. So I've got some things to say. First off, shout out Shadrick. 12 voicemails, pretty sweet. Got some good takes in there. Excited to see you catching up on all the shows and hearing what you have to say about them. You could tell Shadrick's one of the real ones, so shout out him. Also, shout out Nasty Nate. That was a really good idea for a top 5 minor changes. You guys had some good ones. I think for me, the last time I watched Revenge of the Sith when it was back in theaters, I thought maybe it could be a little bit better if you rearrange some of the stuff at the end. For example, I think I would end the movie with the scene with Vader getting his mask put on, and you have that side view of Vader and you see it go on and hear it like pressurize, and then you get 2 breaths just and then cut to black, roll credits with like a ominous dark music playing. I think it could have ended perfectly right there. So yeah, that's what I got. I'll send in another voicemail.
All right, cool. Well, they had to end the movie with a little hope. It was a dark movie. Like, everybody died. They had to have the hope. So that's why they did that. But I don't know. Any other thoughts on that, guys?
No, I also like a dark ending, but I agree with you, Jeremiah. Like they had to, make sure people weren't like crying too much after watching it.
Right. All right. Cool. Let's take a listen to number 2 from Sky King.
Hey, Empire Radio. It's your boy, Sky King from the Discord, as David would say back in the day. Rest in peace, David, or whatever happened to you.
Rest in peace, Joe.
Finished getting all caught up. Just listened to Ruby's interview. Yeah, gonk, let's go. I'm just kidding. I don't fight about that anymore. If she said she liked Clink better, I mean, that would have not had any effect on me whatsoever. I mean, that would have been just perfectly fine, too. Anyways, I just want to second whoever was talking about Severance. We just watched that show like a couple months ago, and yeah, it is so good. Like, that season 1 finale. A while ago, I sent in a voicemail about, like, what's your favorite all-time TV episodes. If I had watched the season 1 finale of Severance before then, that definitely would have been on there. That's, like, the most intense episode of a show I've ever watched. My wife and I were, like, on the edge of our seats, yelling at the TV, yeah, no, come on, you can do it. Yeah, it's amazing. Go get an Apple Plus free trial and binge it in a week. It's great. Okay.
All right.
Grace, have you seen Severance?
I haven't, but people keep recommending it.
It's so good.
I really should.
I
don't like creepy though. I'm worried that I'm going to be scared. Okay.
I mean, it's the concept of like, what if this was real? Kind of creepy. Like that concept of going to work and not like your body like doesn't remember what you did at work. Like that concept
like my real life experience.
Okay, moving on.
No, but I actually do want to watch it. Yes.
Yeah, you should watch it.
Right.
Jeremiah, you need to watch it. I know you're gonna love it.
I don't know about that.
I know it, bro.
Sky King number 3. Let's take a listen.
Empire Radio, Sky King here. Just got one last quick question for you guys. Random question is, what do you think about pho? Like the Vietnamese soup pho. I used to eat it all the time. I love it. I think this stuff is amazing. But my wife and I just had it for the first time in like a couple of years back on the 4th of July. And I was sitting there eating it thinking, like, man, why haven't we eaten this more often? This stuff is so good. I think the first time I had it actually was like back in Minnesota. I think it was in St. Paul somewhere. I don't know exactly where.
That would make sense.
Yeah, shout out Minnesota. Shout out you guys. So what are your thoughts? Do you like it? Do you not? Do you like it spicy? No? Let me know. Thanks, bye.
All right, thank you, Sky King. Now, Drew's probably had pho more than...
I had pho last week.
Yeah, like every week probably.
Pho is like my top 2 favorite foods.
Oh my gosh, really?
Like if I
That's
was
so funny.
going to die, it would be... Or like I only had 2 meals, it'd be sushi or pho.
Oh,
like those would be choices. My 2...
Keep in mind, for those who don't know, Drew's wife is Asian, and so he has a lot of connection to Asian culture. And
my wife makes pho.
And their cuisine a lot, so that makes sense. I've only had pho twice.
For real?
For real. First time I had it was like in the middle of the summer and it was super hot out, so it wasn't really the most enjoyable. Yeah. And the second time was like middle of winter, which was fine.
It's the best time to have it.
I need to try it because I know like everyone has their spot. There's different flavor profiles and stuff, so it's like I need to try different flavor profiles.
There is this spot like by North Central, called Pho Hoa, and that was like the amazing. And my wife was like, I want to go get that and have like 107. Like we have like our number, like exactly everything that we always get. But in college, we used to go there like once a week, and they would know us by name, and we'd go down. They wouldn't even give us a menu because they knew what we were going to order.
Oh.
And we have not been back there in like years, and that's not where we went. But
Grace, do they make vegetarian pho?
Yeah,
they do. It's so funny that he asked this question because I literally had it like on Saturday night. Yeah, I went out to dinner with my boyfriend and our friends, and we got pho. So I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, it's really good.
That was kind of funny. So by my work, a couple blocks away, there's like an Asian restaurant, and like they had the name when they first put it up. I'm like, I didn't understand the name. Like I couldn't read what it said in it because it said it was the number 1. Then it was TOU, the number 3, and then PHO. I'm like, I don't get this. And it's 1, 2, 3 pho. But it's so pho. Funny. That's how I say it. But they kind of made the name. Dude,
there's so many. Like, there's I love pho. It's literally like the logo is an eye with a heart and then pho.
Yeah.
And then there's like you like if you eat like their competition bowl of pho, which is like 5 pounds of noodles and stuff, you get a shirt that says "I'm the."
Oh, okay.
It's so funny though.
That's so funny.
Moving on.
Wait, also I was gonna say that I've been to Vietnam, so I've also had like the authentic.
So you've had like authentic pho. Yeah,
and
Hmong people eat it a lot and make it a lot.
Yeah. I similarly to you, Drew, love sushi as well. I had sushi last night for my birthday.
Wow.
I know. Vegan sushi.
Can you really call it sushi if it doesn't have
I mean, why not? It's just
fish
vegetables
in it? Seafood?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm all like,
I mean,
I guess you'd have to ask an expert, but I consider it sushi.
It's rolled. It's a roll.
Okay.
Did you have seaweed on it or no?
Yeah, seaweed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, rice, seaweed. I had nigiri and like the rolls. It was good. It was an entire restaurant of vegan sushi.
Ooh, that's cool.
It was like a vegan restaurant?
Yeah, a vegan sushi restaurant.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Only in San Francisco, am I right?
Or probably Seattle too, or some of those other similar.
Yeah, you probably get in
West
LA.
Coast things.
Hippie dippy places, yeah.
Yeah, there's probably one in Chicago.
Yeah, maybe.
I wouldn't surprise me.
Some deep dish sushi.
Well, I do love deep dish. I've been missing it this summer. That's the one thing I'll definitely miss about Chicago.
See, I do not care for deep dish.
Really?
Deeper the dish, the better for me, dude.
See, I like thin.
My philosophy is pizza needs to be eaten with a fork.
Oh.
Like
that hurts.
Like New York style pizza, no, thank you.
That's my favorite New York.
No,
style.
like it's a tortilla with some bread sauce. No, I'm good.
I think they're all good, and you just have to like if I just think about deep dish as like it's just different, like it's Italian pizza, yeah, good. New York pizza, fine. Deep dish pizza, it's just like cheese bread, it's like it's pizza, but it's like it's a whole different experience.
Grace, I wish I could make you my homemade pizza, but you're a vegetarian, so I make really good deep dish pizza with Italian sausage that's made by my work. It's so good, but I know I can't.
Grace, I should come to Chicago and you can show me deep dish.
Yes. For the party, right?
Yeah,
the party will not be in Chicago.
I was going to say, you're going to do it in Chicago? That would be
wild. Where's your party? So next summer, you plan for next summer for 28. So where are you going to be next year? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I'm actually moving to Seattle for a year after I graduate.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I know.
Random. Oh, then we can meet up with Lucy and
dude, that's her
family.
Better. It's only a 3.5 hour or 3 hour and 40-minute flight.
It's so far.
It is so far, dude. Like to think I went there yesterday just for the day is kind of wild, but
yeah, it's crazy.
Whatever.
All right.
Fun.
But I am eventually ending up in the Bay Area. Just 1 year in Seattle.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Sky King, for your 3 voicemails. We have our last 2 up from Alex. So
also, I'll just say I liked the food one. Let's get more like those.
Yeah, okay.
That was fun.
All right, we'll have to coordinate with people so they know when you're on, or we can just pool them, and we'll have or we can just do a whole episode of just food questions for Grace sometime, and then
our Star Wars favorite food.
Yeah, could we tie it to Star Wars? Oh my God, guys! I'm going to Disneyland this weekend.
Weird flex. But
I know. Oh, I just remembered. You were talking about Star Wars
Is this
food.
the first time you've gone to Galaxy's Edge?
No, I went last year too, and I've been the year before as well. But I've been multiple times. But anyway, it's the first time I've gone with my mom.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you like Star Wars connection to food, I used to make Star Wars baking and food videos on our YouTube channel, Coruscant Cafe.
You should do that again.
So I have like 7 or 8 videos of me making Star Wars themed food items. And so
those are so fun. I don't know why
they are, but it's so much work.
I've definitely seen like Star Wars cookbooks. I've thought about buying them before, but I'm like,
I have like 2 or 3 of them. Oh. They're kind of annoying because like you'll have like a recipe that has like these random ingredients that you can't find anywhere. And it's like, how am I supposed to? I need a teaspoon of this thing when it's like
I'm not gonna buy
whatever
a pound cake. But
they do have some good recipes in their like baked goods and stuff, which are some of those recipes that I made for Coruscant Cafe. But moving on.
Okay, moving on, I guess.
2 voicemails from Alex. So let's take a listen to number 1.
Hello there, Empire Radio. It's Alex. I asked a question, I think last week, for Drew about Disney World, or Disney in general. We did Disney World, and I found out, if you don't know which one you're going to, if it's in Florida, it's Disney World, OR. And if it's California, that'll be Disneyland, LA, for Los Angeles or whatever. Anyways, long story short. Tip for everybody that is planning on going to Disney. Make sure your kids are at least 44 inches tall.
Oh, yeah.
Miles and Elliot were not allowed to ride half of the rides because they weren't tall enough. But some of the rides that we got to do, we had blast. It was fun. Yeah. Also, there wasn't really that many. There was a lot of people, but there wasn't really like that many people. Like we were able to get on to a lot of rides like pretty quickly. The longest line that we really had to wait for was 45 minutes. That was for like a jungle cruise in Magic Kingdom. But
and then he ran out of time. So pick up with number 2.
Hello, it's Alex again. I got cut off on my last one. Awkward. Anyways, another tip is when you're getting your tickets and everything, or trying to book your whatever, get the lightning lane passes. That was so much simpler and so much easier. Like, you were able to walk past everybody that was waiting in line for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And yeah, it made your ride and your experience a whole lot better because you're like, oh, I really don't want to wait in line forever. But yeah, so definitely get those lightning passes. I have nothing really to complain about Disney, so yeah, I had a blast. But yeah, also do the Star Wars experience. I had an amazing experience with the Star Wars. I didn't get the blue milk, sadly, but next time I will.
Bro,
I did build my lightsaber. That was fun, so definitely highly recommend. But anyways, that's it. Have a good one. May the Force be with you.
All right. Thank you, Alex. Well, we're glad you had a great time at Disney doing all that stuff. And that's a good tip. Make sure your kids are tall enough to go on rides.
Yeah, that's a big one. Also, the time of the year. So because he went now, it's hot. So it's not as busy. But also a certain time of the year, the Fast Pass is actually not worth it. Because a lot of people will do the Fast Pass thinking that they're going to But if a bunch of people are doing the fast pass, it's no longer fast. And then sometimes the normal lane is actually better.
Right.
So just something to keep in mind. Depending on when you go, the time of year, and how many people you're thinking. Like if it we're gonna go in October, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like the best time to go because it's cooler and it's gonna be packed. So, but actually, we're gonna go to Universal and not Disney. But
I've never been to Universal.
Oh, I'm excited. We're going to Epic Universe, the new one that came out. So they have How to Train Your Dragon Land and Mario and then Fantastic Beast instead. So it just opened up.
In Florida? Or
in Florida.
Okay.
No, there is Mario World in LA now too. But it's not as big as the Florida one. So yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, that's all the voicemails we have tonight. So we'll go over some social media and we'll get out of here for tonight. So if you are new or old and you just want to get connected with Empire Radio even more than you are now, go in the description below, links.co/Empire Radio, links below 2 eyes. Click that landing page for everything Empire Radio. So follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch for live streams. You can join the chat. Like we had people in the chat tonight talking to us and fact checking us and asking questions. Join us for a live stream. Join the Discord if you want to hang out with a bunch of nerdy people and talk about Star Wars. So we also have a fan email if you want to email us about anything. I think that is everything. Anything else, guys?
No, this was fun. I can't believe the High Republic is over. It's like I was so hostile, but now it's a little bit sad.
Well, they said there's
after that
stuff.
Rant, she regrets it.
They said there's gonna be stuff coming out in the future. We don't know what that means, or if that was just more stuff in Phase 3 that hasn't been released yet. But I'm sure we'll get more in this timeline.
Carter Gray to do a book series. She's a goat.
Yeah. Have either of you guys watched K-pop Demon Hunters? Okay. Darn. You guys should both check that out.
Okay. What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know, Jeremiah.
You could have sent that as a voicemail. Yeah, Grace, when are you going to send in a voicemail? You've never sent in a voicemail before.
I did one time, and then I don't think it ever got played.
I don't think it never came in then. Did you?
Oh, we play everything. So if you sent one, it got played or...
Okay, well...
Can
you tell me how to send a voicemail again? I'll definitely do one.
I just told you right now. Click the link in the description.
No, I wasn't listening.
Oh gosh, you've been here for like almost 2 years now. You've been with us. So
by the time we get to this part of the podcast, I'm always falling asleep.
Oh yeah, you're trying to get out of here. Yep. All right.
Actually, okay. Yes.
You've been listening to the final High Republic-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Grace.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.